All right, everybody. Episode 72 of the 580 show. Myself, Jason Frawley, and now reoccurring guest. I think the most reoccurring guest we've had, right, Frawley? Three times now?
I'm a three-peat right here. I'm the
Third
Jordan.
visit. Third visit.
He's got a soft spot for us.
Like the 90s Bulls.
Yeah.
Three-peat, baby.
Well, if you're not watching on YouTube right now, Anthony is just buzzing. You got like he's got a glow around him. You got like that like McGregor just like strut right now. You just look good.
The Vince McMahon walk, just like floating. You're not even walking.
You look fired up and rightfully so, man. I think let's just get into it. The biggest,
Let's do it.
in my opinion, and I haven't been in the sport as long as a lot of people that are listening, but the most exciting weekend in strongman that I know since I've been in it, at least for me, where I was in group chat here, Instagram group, and everyone, we're all talking about Clash. And it's literally live. Like we're talking, did you just see, Congdon do this or Hein do this? And it was cool. Like, dude, this is crazy, like just, if you had a grade at 1 to 10, 10 being the best, how did it go in your opinion on how you expected this weekend to go?
So yeah, that's what I'll grade it. On a scale from 1 to 10 on how it went compared to how I thought it was going to go, 10.
Really?
I had no idea that we were actually going to be able to pull all this off several times with different mechanisms, events. It was just so many moving pieces, like so many gears in this, and not one grain of sand stopped anything. You know what I mean? Like everyone pushed through and adapted. Everybody from the volunteers, the judges, Evan Singleton loading dumbbells all weekend, the production crew, the people that flew in to help us script the show, the ESPN producers calling the shots live, our interviewers, like the resort staff coming to our need when we needed ice. It's freaking nuts, man.
Takes an army.
It takes an army, man.
And I mean, so let's just start with the 105 prelims.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part of the weekend. Like that was seriously my favorite part of the weekend. I don't know about you, Frawley, with everything.
I agree.
I mean,
yeah,
really, that I mean, it's fun to watch.
It was the reason is it was nonstop action. Like you had the athlete break, right? But from there, it was you watched. I mean, an hour and a half, I think, was the first events ish, and it never stopped. Like it was a strongman event. It was event. You never had a lull in the action, and then you had the break, and then once you picked back up, it was the same thing. It was just over and over and over.
I couldn't say it better myself. I mean, like obviously, like World's Strongest Man does that for TV.
Yeah,
but from what you hear and everything, they're extremely long, actual like real time. They're extremely long breaks because they do the big television production.
It takes them a full week to film the heats in the finals.
Yeah, but it was so cool because it's like, okay, you're like, okay, this guy's squatting. Now this guy, and then as soon as that
you can call that squatting if you want to, by the way.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But as soon as that guy was done attempting to squat, probably zeroing it, you're like, okay, this guy's doing the medley. This guy's doing the overhead. And it was literally like Frawley said, like it was nonstop.
So that was my intent. When I first did this last year, Clash was the first time we did it. And that's what I want to do. I know that we are we're not in with the media. We're not in with fans and viewers yet. So I knew that we had to create something new and different to entice them and also entertain them. Because if I'm sitting here watching something and a commercial comes on, it's 2022. I'm on my phone. I'm playing a game. I'm doing something else. But if it's constant, I'm drawn to it. Even if I do score away, I hear the fans and I look back, right? Like,
yep.
To me, it's not rocket science. It's just about execution and getting the people around you. That's the rocket science part. So
like, how did the guys in real time, how did they react to like the fast pace? Like, what were they saying? Were you getting like MF'd or were they pumped or what?
All of it. I think all of the above. I think that they did not expect the performances out of themselves that they gave. I think as it happened, I think they started to feel better, forgot the finals. They started with the sear. And I think when they went into the deadlift, I don't think they felt as bad as they thought they were going to, and they got better each event after that. I think they realized that the pace was not a detriment as we thought. And then the prelims, though, they were cussing me because everyone had to do the squat. So that was just a bad day for them.
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned that on during the prelims. It's a testament to their conditioning, right?
Yeah,
I mean, those guys were in great shape to be able to do what they did.
I will say this: they didn't, not knowing, like they had no frame of reference to train for this, so they got themselves in shape for this without knowing how. If if some of them, even in the finals, if 3 of them decided not to perform or couldn't perform, that finals gets ruined. It's not as competitive. Those guys performing are the biggest reason this weekend was a success. Everything hinged on it, and they delivered, which is what's amazing.
For sure.
100%. And yeah, I mean, I think it's just guys getting in good shape. Like you said, I mean, just what a crew. And I think what really helped too is that at any point, I thought anyone could have won.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. And there was some 105 guys I didn't know. There was a couple, like, not knowing every single 105. I'm sure, Anthony, you know all of them, like, that were getting invited.
It's my job.
Yeah. But like, there were guys I'm like, I don't know who he is. And then you watch him do like the yoke and farmers or something. You're like, that guy could win. Like, that guy could win.
Yeah.
I saw when Camby dropped, everyone was taking Jeff Lee. Everyone. Facebook, Instagram. I saw he was if it was Vegas, he would have been probably the favorite.
Yeah.
He didn't make it out of finals.
It's nuts. I had Jeff in my mind. I thought he was going to do very well, but that just goes to show how competitive everything is, that you can't make a mistake in the heats. Which I will. Oh, I have an announcement about that. I already announced it to the guys.
Let's hear it.
Moving forward, I'm adopting a different model.
Okay.
So instead of heats, we're going to start with the same group, 30 men, or around 30, whatever it shakes out. Mm-hmm. 3 events day 1. The bottom third is eliminated.
Ooh.
Next day, bottom third eliminated. Then we have our finals.
That's cool.
That way you still have to try every event. It kind of gives that heat urgency. Also, it adds a little more fairness because you're stacked up against everybody instead of just a select few.
Right. What heat was I can't remember the number of it, but what heat was Hine and McKeegan in?
Oh, there's 1 through 5. So
whatever
heat 2. I'm guessing heat 2.
Heat 2.
I don't remember.
Whatever heat they were in. So they had 2nd through 5th.
Yep.
In the finals.
Yeah.
Oh, I was wrong. It wasn't heat 2. It was heat 4. No, heat 4.
So 3 guys made. So what? 4 guys made it out of that group.
4 guys made it out of that group.
No, hold on. These are the old heats because we had to update them the night before. We didn't get a chance to put them on the site.
Whatever group that was.
Let's edit that part out. I don't know what's going on. I'm joking.
But like, I loved the tiebreaker. Like, I love that. So if a guy made the finals and they did the tiebreaker, they did 11 events, right?
Yep. So that was important to me. The tiebreaker was important to me because I had to make it so it didn't tax them too much because I didn't want to ruin anyone's chances, and I wanted something as fair as I could. In hindsight, there's things I could do to make the holds even more fair. Like, as simple as having something where if you touch it, you're down instead of having a ref judge. Something small. If I think I had it better next time.
Yeah, but you learn from it. That's a cool easy tiebreaker too, and I think it looks cool on television. Those guys were all super close in that too. It was crazy. It was like 5 seconds on that too. It was just, what an unbelievable weekend as far as like competitiveness with the 105 guys. Like, it was just, at any time it was any person's game.
Yep.
One thing I was thinking about earlier too, and this is a reach in comparison, but we did Ohio's Strongest Man up here last year, and it was by far the fastest show I've ever done.
I've heard that a billion times.
I loved it. Like, at first, like, you hear people complaining, "Oh, this is too fast," but it was the best I ever did at a show, and I know a lot of people. It was the best they ever did at a show. And when you can kind of turn the brain off, you don't have those long, like 2-hour breaks between events. Yeah. You kind of just stay warm and you roll event. I think we were done in 5 events in like a little over 3 hours.
Yep, that's pretty good. That's very good, especially for a large scale show.
Yeah, that's with 110 people.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's something before we move on from prelims. What was the deal with the squat? I gotta ask.
Yeah.
What was the deal? Like, because who was the first guy? I can't.
I just want to say this. It was independently weighed.
Okay.
After the show, 598 pounds.
Wow.
Okay, it was there.
Wow. It wasn't the weight. It's a few things. One, that axle is unlike anything they trained on. So it's a fixed axle essentially. When you put a 2-inch fixed axle on your back and you make any mistake, the weight doesn't rotate to account for any sort of shift at all. So what was happening is a lot of the guys were dive bombing, trying to get the momentum, and they were hitting one side first, and that whole apparatus threw them off, and you're not getting up after that. Mostly, a couple guys did.
Right.
Two, I didn't anticipate this year's pace was faster. The squat was on day 2 last year, so they had a whole nother day of rest, whole nother day to refeed. I didn't anticipate the pace and then the guys going the drag first, going drag before the squat. That really affected them a lot more than I anticipated. So it really was I'd say it's a combination of maybe beefing up the equipment so when they hit, it doesn't float as much. And then just placing it better in the heats or in the finals even, you know?
Yeah, it was really interesting. I mean, because I think Sean Schumacher posted something on Instagram about it. And he specifically said, like, here's my training video where I hit close to comp weight for 3. And then he said, you know, I tapped the left side before the right. And he was one of the ones that was able to grind through it. But I also think he was one of the heats that was the first squat.
If you notice that, if you look at the sheets, pretty much all the reps except 1 or 2 came from that first 2 heats.
Right. And then it was kind of funny, like as you went to, like I remember Tyler Young hit that rep, and apparently in his training he had hit a few, but he's just like, you know what, I got the rep, I'm just gonna rack it.
So what happened with him, if you watch, he was waiting for an up command. He got confused for some reason.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay.
And so he paused for a little bit of up command, realized he wasn't getting it, and then he did almost an Anderson squat with it.
Yeah. So I was curious. I wasn't sure.
It was brutal looking. It did not look good having so many people fail. I wanted to be where about 2 to 3 per heat got it. That's where I programmed it at, and that's where it happened for the first 2 heats.
Sure.
I just didn't take into account all the other factors. So that is on me ultimately, and I'm going to fix it.
Sure.
But it's staying. Squat's staying in Clash. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting event when it gets executed with reps, and man, it's a really exciting event. It's just you twist and tweak and like work with it, and it'll get better. But I just wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
No, I appreciate it because I see that. I'm just like every time I'm like, I swear.
Right.
Laws. I think you and Laws were perfect. I think you knowing the athlete so well, and then Laws he's got the accent.
He's great. He's great.
He loves strongman. You could tell he genuinely cares. It was funny when he would like have a client and he's like screaming extra loud.
Yeah,
like,
every time.
I don't think the average person would pick up on that. I think it's like because we know, like, we follow strongman, but that was hilarious. But I thought you two were like the perfect tag team for that because you know him, and then he's competed at the biggest stage, like at World's Strongest Man. So he like said on there, like, I've competed at World's Strongest Man 11 or 12 times. Obviously, you've got a hell of a background yourself too. And then knowing all the guys, it was just a perfect tag team.
So I mean, that is the reason I continue with commentary. My original goal, I didn't want to commentate. Last year, I had to step in with Rob because we couldn't get Big Laws in. And I was talking, and because I knew the guys so well, I could throw their nicknames out without thinking. I could throw their stats, where they're from, a fact about them, and that made good TV. So I stayed, and it turns out I felt really comfortable with Laws. I think we worked very well. Of course, he's like the lead. I'm the color guy. I'm the more animated one. But I think it works pretty well, and I hope to work with him in the future. I think we can do some fun stuff because, end of the day, we're 2 guys that love the sport and know the sport, and that's why it was decent commentary.
That's why it worked. That's why it worked.
Yeah.
So, moving on to the 105 men's finals.
Yeah.
What was it like? And we can talk record breakers. We can talk men's finals, whatever, with ESPN. What was it like working with ESPN? I'm curious. Like, how much of a say do they come to you and they're like, the producer, like, Anthony, we have to do it? Like, I'm just curious how that works.
So they got rules. They're a Disney company. So there's some rules, you're not supposed to cuss on air. Kira.
I like your comment on that. You're like, we took our chewing and
yeah. But what are you going to do? I mean, that was awesome. But they let you know what they liked and didn't like about the segment after, and you try and, they give you live feedback as well when you're in commercial breaks. And then we have our producer on the ground, like, talking to them. He's in our ear, kind of guide us through segments. Sometimes, like, it's just funny. I don't think me and Laws were totally prepared for the amount of traffic in the ear. So sometimes we get overwhelmed and like to be like a slight random pause because we're trying to think but that's how it is. And then adding in live instant replay was another, first off, really cool thing for live strongman, but it got tough sometimes because with communication, sometimes it might come up too early or late. So it's already on the screen and we're talking about something else.
Yeah.
But those are just kinks that, with the flow of the thing, the normal person wouldn't think about that. They're just watching, they see the replay.
Yeah. One thing back to the prelims, I forgot, but we got a bunch of questions, comments on it. People were said in the future, when it pops up on the screen, like have the results and the placing live. Like, so you're not like saying it and people are like trying to like write it down for the prelims. That was just one thing people were saying.
Yeah. So you're talking
production of that.
I'm
imagining.
I'm trying to think how it would be possible live. So like, you mean, so after they get their reps done, like if he did 8 reps, immediately know he was in 8th place?
Like at the end of an event, like whenever.
So we tried that. We tried that. We had to do it when we came back, just because we couldn't. You can't do it fast enough.
I imagine. It's just one thing.
We started doing it when we came back from the segments. But we tried it for us and what we had. It is impossible to do it before we go to commercial.
I gotta thank you too for doing Strongman Live, because the first probably knows what I'm gonna say.
Yep.
There's probably like 30 episodes of this podcast. We probably talked about it like once an episode, because every person called us idiots and morons for saying that Strongman could be done live on TV, and everyone said we were wrong. Like, you don't understand Strongman. You don't there's no possible way to do it live. And that I got receipts now. So I'm
this weekend changed. I think it changed the sport forever.
Yeah, I love it.
No one can say that anymore. It was done.
At a high professional level.
It was done well.
The performance didn't suffer. The production was excellent.
Again, it's the perfect marriage of people that know what they're doing on TV and them trusting me to advocate for the athletes to make sure they're capable of doing that on TV. Again, all they had to do was not listen to one thing. Because, for example, they wanted everyone to reorder every event.
Oh.
Because it's better. So, the people. However, for example, if someone came in last on the sear dumbbell, they had a 3-minute commercial break, then they first on the yoke frame. Mm-hmm. So I thought if we kept the same order at the minimum, they're at least getting 12-minute rest like clockwork. Sure. So that's a small thing. It's behind the scenes small thing we do to make sure the athletes are able to get rested.
Yeah, when it's that crunched, you have 7 minutes matters when it's that crunched. That goes back to you competing and knowing.
That's all it is,
What was the crowd like there?
Dude.
I knew a lot of people. I actually knew a lot more people than I thought that went. I wish we would have ended up going, but what was it? Because I don't think TV. It was kind of hard to see. What was the crowd like?
It was pretty wild. It was loud. Friday night. So the prelims were pretty good. I think the prelims drew people for the Friday night because they started to see as they were coming, they saw more people because it's all free. It's walk up stuff for people at the resort. Right. So it's not massive crowds, but for what it was and where it was, it got loud. There were, I think they have a few aerial shots we're going to release where there was probably 20 rows deep at one point.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Towards the beach, which is,
everyone tells me to ask you about the Hine crew. We were the first one to ever have. We were the first podcast Nick Hine ever went on. So he's
those Hine crew people. I'll tell you that I love them to death. They bring value to my show, but they stress me out. But that's okay. I wouldn't rather anyone else do it.
Yeah,
they're just very loud and passionate. That's fine.
Very supportive people. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's why he's so successful. His family.
Yeah.
Nick, you hear that? You can thank your family. Give him a hug.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
But yeah, the cool thing Saturday, we got a pretty good crowd because people on the island saw Hilton Head was on ESPN Live the night before, so they went to the resort the next day because they saw it was going to be again.
That's cool.
So that was kind of
cool. Yeah.
Sure. So this is me asking as an 80 kilo.
Yeah.
Because every weight class is gonna.
I don't have the events yet. Stop asking me.
No. That is the most asked question. When's the 80, 90s women? When are those events coming out? When they're posted. I don't want to get into that. When you guys post them, they'll be out.
Every time I get asked, I delay it a day, just let you know. I honest to God do. I take the planned date and I move it one day every time someone personally asks me.
Yeah, they're gonna get them day of now.
They keep it up. That's where it's going.
What do you think about the idea of making it? Do you think Hilton Head has become your baby now? Do you see that as the Homa class, or you see him moving it?
No, I designed the Clash of Coast so it could be moved anywhere. So I'm probably going to leave this year. It's a beautiful place. It's a bit of a burden on athletes that I can't afford to pay for because I'm not to the point where I'm paying every single person's flight and room yet.
Sure.
So I think I want to move to a place where it costs a little bit less until I'm to the point where I can fly everybody in on my dime because that's the goal, right? Take care of the athletes.
Yep. Absolutely.
So yeah.
No matter where it is, what do you think about making like in the future, making like Clash on the Coast like a full week event, like say like 80s and lightweight women compete in
Oh,
their
you
on
thought this too, have you?
Tuesday.
That's
Like
one.
make it the
That's
Super
one.
Bowl of strongman.
That's one that's crossed my mind.
Five eighty show will be there. Like
I have a few other. I have a few other ideas. This is all dependent on growth and sponsors that we can attract. Man, I mean, I could tell. I'm now that we have live ESPN, I'm pursuing sponsors I previously thought untouchable. You know what I mean?
Right.
But everything is so dependent on finances still, just because
Sure.
this is a grassroots. No matter what anyone thinks, this is grassroots level. These are
Oh, yeah.
athletes running this thing. Like
I just picture like you guys know like for the Super Bowl they have like Radio Row the week of.
yeah, Wadapalooza. I mean, yeah, man.
Like
It's
I picture like the 580 show, John Stacy
set up. Everyone's coming live there. Yeah,
Dude, like
yes.
I just picture it like literally like Super Bowl weekend, like the 80s and lightweight women compete on Tuesday and then their finals the next day. And then it all wraps up with the 105s is like the Super Bowl. And that can be on ESPN like to start, you know, like
Man, there's tons of stuff. There's tons of stuff we're working on. I can say that. Don't be surprised if very soon the format you see we're using changes. That's all.
That's cool.
Yeah,
we'll be on the lookout for that. I'm excited. What from the finals?
Yeah.
Well, actually, the Stones. I was super confused at first because I went out and got something for my kitchen. I came back. And I forget the monster's name on Stones. Kong, is it
Kongdon? My Kongdon was pretty good.
He was at 14 and the other guy was at 3. And I'm like, how is this happening? But then, quickly I got it. Did you come up with that idea? Who came up with that idea?
That's something I thought of and right before the rules meeting.
That was
it was supposed to be a stone over bar event. It really took me a long time because I had to make it where it could fit into a certain segment on TV.
Right.
So you have to time it out. And I had to make it both entertaining and within the time. And we workshopped at Tyler Purdue. I talked with him about it. He's my on-ground coordinator. And we came up with it and timed it out, and it worked perfectly. Worked better than I could have imagined, even though, because I was hoping for a double digits with somebody, but some of them guys, seeing the contrast between someone that was in there already for 12 reps and someone new, and he picks it up and just hucks it over, and the guy's tired, breathing heavy. That's good television.
Yes.
I thought that was such a good idea. I'm like, I've never seen that at a show, so I wonder if
afterward, I heard it's been done before. I personally haven't seen it, but I heard there's a couple lower level shows maybe that have done it.
Yeah.
But so I didn't like invent anything. I thought I did at the time, but
what was the change from keg toss to finger fingers?
Yeah.
So this was one of the hurdles. The Thursday morning, the morning of setup, we were supposed to have a huge decking like drilled into the sand to be on the sand side of the resort. So deck like built up and that stage lights and shit. We're do the whole contest there, and then do the sand events in the sand right next to it. It was super uneven this year, and we didn't anticipate that. And they added a amount of money they had to add money to fix it. Yeah, we didn't have. So plan B was, let's make the parking lot look like an arena. And oh shit, I bought those Fingal Fingers back in September. They've been stored in Texas. Tommy Sharp drove up and brought a bunch of equipment in Texas for us to use for the show, and he brought those to bring them back to our gym here.
Wow.
So we had a beautiful set of Fingal Fingers there, and then we find out we can't do the cake toss, and I'm like, we'll use those, and they looked beautiful too.
That's amazing.
I said, everything came together perfectly. I don't know how.
That's like,
what are the odds of that?
Yeah, because it's like when it said keg toss had to go, and now we're doing the Fingal Fingers. I'm like, who just has Fingal Fingers laying? Like that's the most awkward. That would literally be in like the last event I would think that like someone just has like in Hilton Head, you know?
And it's funny because like when the guys were coming in and they walked by the equipment before the rules meeting, they're like, "Hey man, why's there Fingal Fingers here? Is there a Mr. event?" And at that time, it wasn't that way yet. And then the next day, I was like, "Hey, by the way,
yeah, hey, that's an awesome curveball to throw at someone because like you would think you'd be like sandbags or like."
But they all did so well, and it could have been and that's a credit to my team. We talked about the weights, and we decided not to put any weight in them. We figured it'd be good enough, and it turned out that was just about perfect. If we would have put 20 pounds in one of them, it might have been too much.
It was like the perfect. I think there were some guys not finishing And then there
But
was
they were getting close.
Yeah, I thought that event was ran great as far as the weight and everything like that too.
Yeah.
I thought for the most part it all seemed. I mean, you had the hiccup with squat. We already talked about that, but I mean the other 10 events they all seemed to come out so appropriately with weight.
Yeah.
As far as who was finishing, people some people weren't.
It really is. It's kind of like an art form, man, to be able to predict. Yeah, I mean, you have some data, especially with Clash, if we use some of the same events over again, but a lot of times it is an art almost. There's a science and an art to it.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I'm sure people that promote shows just at the amateur level, like we're testing a Hercules hold right now in the gym, and I mean, it's a pain. But now you're dealing with like the highest level guys, and it's going to be on TV or going to be live streamed. So it's like,
Although one thing though, I'm getting too weak and these guys are getting too strong, so I'm gonna have to start finding people to test instead of me doing it.
That's
what I did last year and a lot of the ones this year.
Right.
So so the qualifying for next year is starting like soon, right?
May 28th, OC.
Wow, 1 month away.
My theory with that, I did that so close because I wanted to give guys that were already in shape and maybe didn't want to do two big preps to go back to back because they're already in shape for the Clash. Maybe they didn't make the finals. Now they have the opportunity to use that because they were in the best shape for that, you would assume. So then they just,
Yeah.
So we'll see who shows up.
So 5 for the 105s this year?
Yep.
In America?
5 in America. We have the OC. We're actually going to stay tuned. We're releasing an entire flow chart kind of thing to exactly explain piece by piece how we're doing this.
Cool. Yeah, I saw Luke Davies. I was talking to him. He's got over in the UK, right?
Yep.
I just listened. They just released a podcast, and trying to listen to them is like hilarious.
I saw that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Trying to that deep Welsh accent.
Yeah,
that deep Welsh.
I like message him and ask for like translations.
That's that country Welsh.
Dude, he was so mad at us Americans for being able to watch it at like 3 and 8, the 105s, and he was like telling people he had a link, and then he didn't end up having the link, and he like pissed everyone off. He was staying up until like 1 a.m. drinking coffee, and I was talking to him, and then you
gotta love just fans of the sport. That's what they are.
Dude,
it's awesome.
There's so many.
Yeah, they're awesome.
That's 100. That's why I'm like saying, like, if Clash becomes like Clash really can be the Super Bowl of strongman, where there are, I'm not joking, like thousands and thousands and thousands of people going to wherever it's at for 1 week and like making it a vacation. Like I truly believe that.
All I have to say is I was told I would not be professional strongman. I was told I would not be world champion. I was told I would not ever be on television before the Titan Games. I was told I can't make 105 a viable class. I was told I can't get strongman on ESPN. I was told strongman can't do live on ESPN. I'm fucking done listening to what other people are telling me, and I'm doing what's right for athletes. Yeah, so the sky's the limit, and we're going to go Super Bowl status.
Oh, 100%. I mean, hats off to you. That's like when I opened the gym, we were just told by so many people that I think have just gotten comfortable in the sport and the way it is, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good old fashioned like parking lot show.
Yeah, not at all.
That's always going to be part of strongman. That's like our roots, right? So like going on a Saturday morning and it's a bit chilly and just throwing down with 60 people is awesome. But there were so many ideas that I think we had, like myself, Frawley, just at the gym, like, why can't we do this? Why can't it be live? And like, we were just told like, it can't be because it's always been that way. And I think like now we're figuring out like, yeah, it can be.
It all takes is the team, to the right people pulling the wagon, man. People getting off the wagon. Chad Coy actually, he kind of got me on this phrase. He told me our team, we hopped off the wagon that people were pulling and we started pulling everyone. And guess what? We're moving faster now because we have more people pulling. That's all it is. It's volume. People pulling, everyone pulling their weight, man.
Right.
You have your mission and people believe in it. That's what it is.
But the mission is their mission. The mission is them. It's not my mission. It's our mission. Like it's unbelievable. Like how this community has grown.
Right. So will all the other shows that's going on this year, like 80s, 90s, the women's shows, the 64, like, will those be available on ADL too?
The plan right now is ADL,
okay.
Subject to change, but they will be live streamed, and they're going to be in the manner of Clash, which our goal for our regionals and other pro shows that aren't live TV is 2 to 3 hours still.
Awesome. They got to get used to it. Does a great job.
Oh, they are. Listen, they're not just the best in our biz; they're one of the best in the biz. Dawn and Nancy.
Who's the guy does he? I don't know if he's your guy or ADL's guy, but he's always like on the floor. He was in Jersey, and he was kind of like the boots on the ground. That was like he would go and talk to you, and then he would like come say, "Okay, you're gonna be deadlifting."
Are you talking about Sarge, the guy with the beard, the mustache like me?
No,
I think it was Tyler Purdue.
So Tyler Purdue runs all my glory. He's in charge of all my floor operations.
Was he in Jersey?
Yeah, he was in Jersey.
Okay, yeah, that's him. He does a great job too.
He's very efficient.
I saw him running around on TV a couple times this weekend, and I just remembered him from Jersey. He does a great job.
It's beautiful because like leading up to the competition, me and TJ's my partner that does all the smart stuff. Well, I'm an idiot and just talk and make him, and then I say something. And anyways, we were super stressed leading up to the comp, and then it was like, and then the comp day we're like, Tyler, run the show now. It's all yours, and that's when his stress started. So it's kind of funny how that dynamic works having a team like that. Of course, my stress did not vanish.
Well, no,
that's natural with it. Frawley, what else you got with the weekend?
So I kind of wanted to touch on record breakers. You hit on the point during the broadcast. It was interesting because, you know, they are records and they are hard to set. And I think like we were talking about it, obviously Josh and I were, and we were kind of saying like, well, yeah, it kind of sucks, man, that like, we're not seeing that many records, but like, I think it has to be that way. Right. Because it has to, like, it shows how difficult it is to break those records.
I think you summed it up. And initially I was a little upset that not many were hit, but also these athletes had about some 6 to 8 weeks notice, I think was when I did the casting call essentially.
Yep.
So they had 6 to 8 weeks to prep for world records. So that's a testament to them. I mean, holy shit to all them. And it's not like we've had everything they needed, but timing the warm-ups was increasingly difficult because they had to time their own warm-ups.
They were rushed between attempts, right? Like
they were generally, we timed it. No one got less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
I think Nick might have because he came right back out. No, he got a decent break.
Yeah, they took a break on that.
So the way we were able to do it was 3 to 5 minutes were our window per athlete. Like,
sure.
I mean, which is recommended, by the way, for maximal effort.
Oh, okay.
You know, and that's what it is. Sorry,
I think Nick stole the show with that circus dumbbell.
He did. It was fantastic. I mean, to come through that adversity and just do that, like, I mean, you are right. We set that standard, right? Most people that watch that show don't know about world records to begin with, let alone strongman world records. So now they know that's hard as shit to do, and then we only go up from there, baby.
Right.
So that was probably what I'd say. Probably the only hiccup was the dumbbell misload, and that kind of opens us up for you to talk about that a little bit.
I knew we were live. I didn't realize they were on us,
dude. It was dude. Someone has to make a GIF.
People said like that my face, like I didn't say anything. They just like saw me all super distracted, like trying to see who did. Like I was trying to look and see who did it. And during the commercial break, I hopped off. Like they're like, "You're going to commercial, 3, 2, 1." I was like, "Bing!" out of the headset and fucking took off. And I was like, "Tell me who fucking did it." And Tyler was like, "Nah, nobody's telling you shit. Get back there." I'm happy he did because I probably would have. Yeah.
Dude, she looked at me and she's like, "What the hell? Like, what just happened?" Like, you literally like it was. It's funny now in hindsight, you know, he hit the dumbbells and stuff, but you just looked so like. I
thought my people screwed him out of a world record on ESPN. Right. I was mad for him. I couldn't believe, like, after everything, I didn't want him to come this way, and then because of me, he didn't get his moment. That's what I was upset about.
Right.
It wasn't about me. It wasn't about me and how it looks. I was just fucking Nick came all this way, like.
Yeah.
Also, Tyler Young getting suplexed by the bag was one of the funniest things.
Did you see the Justin Lloyd faceplant?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he smashed his face.
He said he didn't even know until he saw the video.
Oh my God. Tyler Young is like such a lovable character. Like people that don't even. So my fiance, for example, watching Clash with me, doesn't know any of the 105 guys. Yeah. But it's like, they're like, Tyler Young, our shortest competitor, and he's got that twang and like.
He's kind of like Pooh Bear.
He's just like, but he's such an amazing
Everybody loves Pooh Bear, right? Who doesn't like Pooh Bear?
Right. But he's such a great competitor.
He is.
And like
one of the best, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, and he uses like the medley. The medley, like,
did you hear me and Laws talking about it? Like, we can't believe he's shouldering every implement. I've never seen this.
But like, he doesn't use the height as a I'm sure Tyler Young could easily be an 80 kilo guy. Like if he wanted to, like
he was
he's
at one point. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he's just such a lovable guy, but then falling with that sandbag was just,
But like he
dude,
takes it all in stride. And he's so like, it's, yeah.
I know it's not funny for him, but like just
it is. He laughed.
Because what was that last sandbag? 320?
320, yeah.
So I mean, like we have big sandbags at our gym, and like a 320 bag is as big as Tyler Young. Like I like height wise. Like it's just such a funny.
Speaking of which, that was my favorite finals event.
The sandbag, I love it.
I love it. It was, they moved quick. You could tell it was heavy. They moved fast. It was very competitive.
Yep.
You had that great suplex moment. It was my fun event. Like I'm glad I had that.
240 to 320.
Yeah.
That wasn't. I love that you love sandbag to shoulder and sandbag over shoulder because I love bringing that event in.
I trained it. I used it as an accessory for years and years. I think it's a fantastic tool.
Me too.
Then finally, I had my own competition, so why wouldn't I do it, right?
I love it. I think the only time it gets tough is like the online qualifier this year. Like guys trying to like sneak it over like their elbow, but I think you guys did by the online qualifiers. So will those be back next year for like the 80s, 90s, stuff like that?
TBD. The likely answer is yes. I don't know what. I don't have the bandwidth to do a qualifier system for every weight class yet. And that's a lot to ask my current promoters to take that additional burden on.
Yeah.
Because like right now we're paying at the regionals too, right? So it's like
it's hard too with guys, you work like my class, right? Like you work to get in that top 10 or whatever and get a qualifying spot at 80s. And then if you have to add like another qualifier where you maybe travel 12 hours and
it's a burden. It's a burden. And
I love
another thing. I don't think any other class is deep enough to run a series like the 105.
Sure. And you're gonna get so much more participation.
Well, it's just I think in a few years the 80s and 90s are going to continue to grow, and then they'll have enough people towards the top to run a series. But right now, if you can name me 30 world level 80 kilo athletes,
right? No, right. I get it.
I can name you damn near 20 105 world caliber athletes. Like
and the only reason I can name
I can name you 32 because they qualify for Clash.
Right. But I also think like just participation doing an online qualifier, you're going to get more.
Yeah.
My cousin's a CrossFitter and he did it. He did the Clash qualifier.
We had a lot of people like total. It was crazy. I couldn't believe.
He crushed it. I told him, I'm like, you're doing it because people always chirp CrossFit and I want you to beat all these people. And he ended up coming in the top 20.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He won the sandbag or he tied for like third overall or something.
I love to see that, man. Like when I saw the numbers of people signed up, that is when I was like, this is going to work. That's when I knew that everything we were doing was going to work. That was probably the moment.
I'm excited for this year's online qualifier because it seems like what I liked about it. And dude, I bitch as much as the next guy is. My competitor side throws out the promoter side, right? And I'm like, fuck Anthony, make like, dude, like, but
it doesn't bug me anyways.
Every single week, dude, got so much better. So that's such a compliment to your team for learning on the fly.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it last time. You have to go through all those videos. And people aren't the most intelligent with filming videos. And I think week 1, you guys were more lenient. And then week 2, you got a little more strict. And week 3, you're like, okay, you guys know the deal by now. Like,
yeah,
the sandbag's not going over. We're taking this rep. Like, and I like that. And I think as we evolve this year, when we do another online qualifier, it sounds like it's going to be even better. And that's the whole point of it. I mean, this hasn't been done before to this extent.
I mean, we're Christopher Columbus. We're
keep this format.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. We're not Christopher Columbus.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say
no. I didn't mean it like that. I meant explore New World things.
Lewis and Clark. How about that?
You're a pioneer.
Yeah, we're Lewis and Clark. That's what we are.
Clark.
That's me, TJ. We're Lewis and Clark.
You're a pioneer.
By the way, I went to Spain in 2019, and they fucking love Christopher Columbus over there. He still has a big ass statue in the middle of their city.
Shit.
So why?
Oh god,
he's a national hero still there.
Wow.
The news hasn't gotten to them yet.
Yeah, it's 2022
Dude,
Spain.
I still have Columbus.
It's 2022 Spain.
It'll catch up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
They love their conquistadors.
Yeah. My favorite part about the online is the CrossFit style. Like 3 to 4 days, dude. Figure it out.
It's not CrossFit style. It's Clash style.
I like that. I like that.
By the way, people have been picking up on it. Everybody that wins our pro show, we are calling Clash World Champions. We believe that we have the talent and the representation to effectively create our own world championship, because I don't think there's been higher level competitions in these weight classes before in one time. So
I don't think so.
Why not let these athletes be world champions?
You're gonna get the biggest guys right now. Like you're going to, and as long as it continues at this trajectory, it's not gonna stop.
It's about taking care of the athletes. If you take care of the athletes, every single thing falls into place.
100%. Oh, I think you can by far. I mean, dude, people like, yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but I think 100% you can call yourself a world champ. I look at whoever wins the 80 world strongest man is the strongest 80 by far.
Also another thing I'm doing is I'm separating from the word strongest because I want to be viewed as a sport. More so that's why I chose the verbiage world champion instead of strongman or anything like that, because I don't want to take any strongest man titles from anybody. That's not my intent. It's a whole different thing. We didn't find the strongest. We found the best athlete is what we found. So Isaac's pretty fucking strong, don't get me wrong, but the competition was designed to find the best athlete, not the strongest man.
That's a pretty good differentiation for yourself too. I like that. That's cool.
I also like I don't want to compare 105s to world's strongest man. It turns me off when we do that comparison because it's just so much different.
It is. It's a different sport. It's almost I said it a million times and I'll probably never stop it. It's a different sport.
It's just it's the format just changes the whole thing.
The whole dynamic. It's like football and rugby. Few rules change and it's a different sport, right? I mean, that's what it is.
100%. And I mean, sure, if you give Brian Shaw or one of Luke Stoltman or one of the Stoltman bros a static event, they're gonna beat the 105s. For the most part, I think we all can kind of understand that, but
not overhead necessarily. So there's some overhead guys now.
Sure, but give them a 6-bag medley. Give them, I think
that one. I think it depends on the weight. I think the 105s and the heavyweights could be competitive up to a certain weight, and that's when you're gonna have to fall off with the 105s. Elite 105 on a 900-pound yoke, I'll take against 8 out of 10 heavyweights, honestly. But a 1,000-pound yoke ain't happening like that.
But my point is doing 5 events in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And being 231 pounds versus being in a lot of their cases over 400 pounds. I think that it can appeal to the common person more. And I just don't.
And I want them viewed as athletes. Strength athletes. Who knows what we're even going to be calling them in the future officially? That's how committed I am to really changing what this is.
Right. No, I agree completely. I don't even like the comparison. So I like just calling them the world champion and that's
world champion. They are a Clash world champion. They earned it,
Yeah. Maze and Peacock both winning. That was
I was gonna say I kind of want to dig a little bit into the ladies because I'm not as familiar with them as I am the guy. So I guess that'd be a good idea or a good time for you to kind of take over and tell us a little bit about what happened and what Melissa Peacock winning's awesome, especially Maze and Melissa winning both. Yeah. That's pretty cool. But
those strong women were the easiest athletes to work with all weekend. Awesome. They wanted to be there. They knew they had the stage and this opportunity, and they wanted to show what they can do. Now, unfortunately, when I booked them for the last day, my intent. I'm a big wrestling fan, as you guys pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The biggest star, the main event is the closing show. It's the title. It's what people come to the show for. That's what I was trying to do with them by putting them last. It didn't quite work out that way. It was a little bit of a sleepy Sunday in the town, and a few of the athletes had already left. So that kind of sucked a little bit. It picked up as the day went on. More people started coming over, but from the ground, I was a little disappointed because I meant them to be But I'll tell you what, they performed like the main event.
But the ladies was awesome too. I think I just can never. I know why I can't remember because there's never been a weekend like this in strongman, But just all I want to say, the last thing I want to say is just what an awesome weekend, and I think that it's just like a bonding weekend. Even people that aren't there, that are there, I'm DMing guys that I don't normally talk to, and we're talking about it. People are it was so awesome. It was so awesome.
Well, thanks, man. I mean, that means a lot because that's what you want to provide. You want to provide content that people enjoy that much. That means you're doing something right. When I say, taking care of the athletes, number one, taking care of fans is number two. Sorry, fans, but the athletes are number one. But
everyone was like, our Strongman Saturday, we kind of linger around for a while on Saturdays afterwards, like the whole crew, and everyone was like getting out of there early to go watch Clash at 3:00. So
that's so cool. That's so cool.
It was awesome. It was well, you actually, it's draft night. And you're a big Steelers fan, but so we all.
I don't want to watch, man. They're gonna fuck it up. I know it. They're gonna draft another running back. Is what they're gonna do.
Are you pro or con quarterback?
Quarterback. Why waste a pick on? We're not going to get our quarterback that we need out of this draft. Spend that on a lineman.
I thought you said pro.
No.
Okay. No. Thank God. I was about to.
We don't have our future quarterback in this draft.
Right. You get it because Western PA guy, diehard Steelers fan. Like the Steelers is really like crazy up here. Like if you go to church on a Sunday when it's literally like a church full of people wearing Big Ben jerseys. And black and gold Miller jerseys still. But like, dude, I'm telling you, like low key just at our gym was like the buzz like that. Like got to get home to watch the Clash game. Like if Steelers play on a Monday night and we're all training, everyone's like, got to get home by 8:00 to watch the Steelers game. That's cool, how it was with Clash, like with our, say 20 strong people, strongman competitors at the gym on Saturday.
That's so cool to hear because I don't get to hear stuff like that often just because I'm removed doing the product.
I'm not going to mention a name, but me and Frawley sold an extra pay-per-view for sure, probably multiple, because people were like, dude, you want to split the $6 pay-per-view? I'm like, dude,
$6.
Literally, fuck you if you don't pay $6. Like
$6, bro.
We literally
listen. We have to stop eating. We have to stop not supporting our own. Like,
dude, yeah. I made sure, like.
I think I bought every live stream I've seen offered in Strongman for 2 years now, and I probably watched none of them.
I very rarely make like a story on my own Instagram because I post from the gym so much. Mm-hmm. But like, I really made it a point. I'm like, dude, this is honestly like, you're not going to spend a better $6 in Strongman.
Right? I don't think
like
so.
that prelims we already touched on it a lot, but it was nonstop action. It's $6.
Very proud of the product we produced. I think all the work that we all put into it showed through the screen. And I think that's really, you can tell. People can tell when people work hard for something. And we all had a very rough go of it because we're all learning on the fly as well.
Right.
But we did it,
Yeah. I mean, I want you to call me out in the next couple of years, but like we started our supplement company for 580 to be able to like, I want to like have a commercial on Clash. Like I want to have a booth at Clash where we all come down. Like that's the goal. We're not there yet, but like, that's the goal in the next couple of years is to be like a premier supplement company for Strongman and be able to support the athletes and give back and offer sponsorships where it's not like, okay, dude, you get a free tub of pre-workout. It's like, hey dude, when are you flying out? We're picking up your flight because you're a sponsored athlete for it.
Right.
Like
that's how we do it at Strengthly. We don't sponsor any athletes unless we pay them money.
Right.
We pay them monthly salary, our sponsored athletes.
I think we had a full episode back when it was like just all inside stuff on this pod, but how like everyone just says like had like the 5% off code and they're like a sponsored athlete. Like, dude, that shit, like I'm so over that. Like,
when I first got on Instagram, I got on late. It was like 2015 or 16 when I first started Instagram. But that was like the thing to do was your upcoming strength athlete. Oh, I get to be an ambassador. I made it. That's just how it was, Like
we're gonna have an ambassador. We're gonna have like an affiliate program for like our brand.
Yeah, affiliates and ambassadors, two different things.
Like it doesn't like if you're an affiliate, like I like that. I mean, and it makes sense for me.
I do got to say though, man, affiliates doesn't drive sales like you would think. The big thing you need to do is take every cent you make and reinvest it into your marketing, paid advertising, stuff like that.
100%. And we're learning that too. And honestly, also what in the small amount of time since we started like 580 supplements is getting boots on the ground at like strongman shows that are like kind of far away from us has helped us a lot. Like we went to a local show on the other side of the state and just getting it in like 15 new people's hands.
Yeah. It's word of mouth, man. It's how you start any good business. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of no's and a lot of feeling like shit and a lot of questioning your life and a lot of getting yelled at by other people and a lot of everything, but it's worth it when it pays off, dude.
Dude, nothing annoys me more.
Yeah, it's not personal. That's not personal experience.
Nothing
I have two
annoys me
questions
more.
for you guys.
Go ahead.
You ready? First one, I have an idea for an on-air commentator persona. In live sports, besides like wrestling, has there ever been a heel commentator?
I don't.
Imagine I'm sitting there with Laws, and he goes, "He's lifting this massive weight to his shoulders," and I go, "I don't think he's gonna get it."
Yeah, kind of like Jim Ross and
Like the bad guy commentators from wrestling.
Did that a little bit. They did that a little bit,
but
yeah.
Applied to live sports. So I'm actively rooting against them.
Yeah, that'd be something to see, right?
I wonder if people would enjoy it.
I think. Yeah,
I don't know.
Gotta try it out.
Should I try it? Should I try it?
I would have to sell it like hard. Like you would have to make it very believable. Not like, well, I don't know. He's tried this weight a few times before. Like you really have to, because then those people are going to start rooting against you, right?
No, because then like he introduced a guy, be like, "Oh, I got this guy placing last in this event."
Yeah,
like, it's like say the shit you shouldn't say. Like he's doing this completely wrong. Let me tell him how to do it right now, live on air. Like explain how he should be doing it.
Who's the dude that did the Crip Walk?
I think that Adam Geiger,
dude.
Yeah,
I love shit like that. Like
he is. My biggest regret is him not getting on ESPN with his character, because he is one of the funnest people to compete around.
I didn't know who he was until this weekend, but like
he hosted my Denver qualifier for me.
Yeah, maybe maybe like see him on Instagram and stuff, but never like. I think as Clash grows, you'll have like guys become like the lovable characters, like Tyler Young. The short like dude that talks with a twang. You'll have a dude crip walking. You'll have the bad boys. Like I think
you just got to
like,
keep exposing them over and over. That's what it's all exposure.
Like even I just look at it like for everything. Like for our gym, we started a YouTube channel so we can start to develop like characters.
Yeah.
Like when you see Frawley do a log press, like and like eventually he'll press like a 400 log. But like if people can like know him,
yeah.
Like it's like, oh, I saw him do an eating challenge and puke, and it's like people see that side of.
I listened to that one. You guys tricked me. I was trying to listen to something, and then it was just a bunch of fucking most of it was eating contest stuff, and I was like, oh, they had fun.
I was like,
you're like, we're getting to the next thing, and then you start talking about the food.
I was in tears. I was with Dante at the gym, and we were doing something. And I'm like, Fuhrman just messaged me about the eating challenge. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like, and it's literally like Clash weekend. I'm like, dude, this is not right. Like,
hold on, I think my Hulu just started. Sorry, I was watching the draft. Oh, it's auto starting on me.
Oh, you're good.
We're good. All right, sorry.
I think as but like I just think as Clash evolves, like 105s, you'll have like the villains, and it's just cool, like developing the characters and the nicknames and everything like that.
Clash is gonna evolve into whatever it ends up. I have a vision, but also we're very fluid in whatever feedback we get, whatever path it takes. We're gonna do the best product, at whatever stage we're at. And I think that's really what our goal is: best product for the athletes and the fans.
Yeah, I mean, you and I talked about an idea this week on Instagram DMs, and it's like I told you, I'm like, what I like about it is like whether it's I'm sure 90+% of ideas are like, okay, we can't do that in a perfect world. But like listening to the people that actually compete in the sport, you listen to the people that compete in the sport. That's what I really like about you. And
thank you.
And that's how it's going to organically turn into whatever it's going to turn into, which I believe will be its best form.
You can see a pattern in the stuff I'm doing, the collective, Clash is us. I do believe that the greater is better than, or some of the whole is better than the. Hold on.
Oh,
it's an old boomer phrase.
Yeah, some of the whole is greater than the individual parts.
Yeah, that's what it is. But that's what I truly believe, though, man. Like, I can't do shit. Right. I don't have ideas, or all the ideas. So that's how I do it. That's all.
I have a completely. Just random question, but this might make Clash some money. A guy at our gym said he's going to a casino tonight, and he's a big fan of the pod, and he liked Clash. He's new to Strongman. He said he wants you to pick a number for roulette. You have to pick 1 through 30 or 1 through 36 or whatever, or 00. And
11.
He's putting 500 on it, and if it hits, he's going to give the money to Clash. He's going to donate money to Strongman. That would be $18,000.
Who is this?
He a big idiot. I don't know if he's. I don't know.
No,
if
he's fucking. He's fucking. There's no way someone's doing that.
He told me that on the way out. He said you have to. I have one question you have to ask Fuhrman, and he said he has to pick a number for roulette, and I'm putting 500 on the thing.
Well, my number's 11. Is that a number? Is that a number on roulette?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, my number's 11, but don't gamble.
Hey, he's going to gamble, but I appreciate it.
He's gonna gamble no matter what.
Yeah, he's gonna gamble. But I will let him know. Well, he'll hear this, but I'm gonna let him know 11. I don't know what he's gonna do with the money, but if it actually hits, I'll make him give some to Clash.
That'd be crazy. I hope he hits and keeps it. Actually, that'd be awesome for him.
No, we'll make him buy a commercial for next year, and it'll just be like him just sitting there. It'll be funny.
Just slow zoom in for 30 seconds until you get like full screen face.
That's one thing I'm excited for too, though. Like right now, it's at the ground level, and we have the sponsors that we kind of like knew we were gonna have, and some other ones, but it was kind of like the same sponsors. I'm excited for like when there's even more sponsors.
Yeah,
like when
we have to get outside the strength community. We did that with a few. We company Sport Near has Theraguns and scales and stuff. That wasn't a traditional. They gave us good amount. We always have friends of Tsunami, High Temp, all the plates. They really took care of us, but we need to get outside it a little bit to ease the burden on these companies, because these companies support a lot, not just us. So we have to find some bigger companies outside to kind of take the burden off them.
Yeah, 100%. I even think local, not your like parking lot shows.
Local something that I didn't tap into enough at Hilton Head. Next place we're going, I'm definitely going to get on the horn early with their Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
Like we waited too long is what happened with Hilton Head.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Hilton Head's kind of fucking snooty.
Really?
What's dealing with some of the business people. Like the resort people are amazing.
Yeah.
Where we were, but like in the city dealing with those kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially like during the COVID times with the permit stuff.
Sure.
I'm working like to run like our like 580 competition every year, and like having like a Pittsburgh theme, like with the bridges and stuff like that. And we've started like talking to like, I think promote.
Dude, if I throw a Clash qualifier, I'm getting Heinz as a sponsor if we do.
Dude, that's what I was just about to say. That's who we're talking about doing like a Heinz ketchup like shield carry.
I'll be like, yo, I'm doing a regional. Do you want a 30-second ad on ESPN?
They'll do it.
But
you could have like Pittsburgh, like Pittsburgh's such a good like example, because like we have like Iron City beer. Do like a keg.
Yeah, IC Light, baby. I like that IC Light.
Like I don't know. There's so many.
There's tons, man. There's a million things we do. Pimani Brothers, get them sponsored.
Yeah. Last thing I want to talk about real quick off Clash. Congratulations on the gym.
Shit, yeah, I'm a gym owner now.
You're gonna get a ton of. Are you close to Nashville?
Yeah, we're like 20 minutes away.
You're gonna get out all the bachelor party bros just coming in like
dude, get a quick pump. They walk in and Evan's screaming and headbutting walls. No, man, I'm really excited. It was already a fairly established powerlifting gym, and fortune favors the bold. His neighbor, Luke, moved out, and the landlord said, "Hey, do you want the space?" And he knew that we were looking for a gym, and we talked about it. And everything lined up, and now we're going to add 3,500 square feet to it and create this mega gym.
And all you had to do is add the word collective at the end.
Well, I love their logo too. Their original logo was very nice, and I didn't want to change it much.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, good. That's so awesome. So
I fell ass backwards into that one. But I'm, Adam Dirks is a co-owner. We have every piece of equipment known to man, and it's kind of crazy. Like we're gonna have permanent power stairs set up.
That's cool. That's cool. So anything else with like the weekend that you wanted to touch on real quick? Or
and I can't express my love enough for everybody out there talking about Clash, spread the word, good or bad. There's no such thing as bad word when but seriously, the people supporting is amazing. A few times I got emotional this weekend because I was sitting there just watching how many people were here for something that I was my vision in the beginning, and how my vision turned into our vision. It's just humbling. And I get legit emotional about it just because it's not something many people get to experience. I don't think is this kind of support. So just thank you to everyone that took the time to watch. And
100%. And I was gonna say it earlier. Your thing just reminded me of. I know you're the same way. Like I get so annoyed when people are like, "Thank you for letting me buy." Like people post on Instagram, "Thank you for the horsepower, like the pre-workout we sell." I'm like, why are you thanking me? Like, you paid money to like our product. And I know last time you were on, like, you went on like, you went on a little bit of a rant and like just said like, you know, you're thankful for the people to do it. And like that's the right attitude to have. I mean, I just think it's the mental conditioning that people have been put through in strongman for so long, and then we're just set in our ways. And I think we're finally able to like kind of get out of that.
Well, I don't think it's ever been athlete driven before, truly.
No.
And I think that's a big difference. And there's nobody with money backing this. There's nobody with money influencing this. This was entirely done because 11 of my friends in 2020 said, yes, I would do a competition if you threw it. If they would have said no, this never would have happened. Like, it's crazy.
Right.
It's karma, man. This whole world works on that. It's crazy stuff.
Right.
And you have to believe in it. If you go through enough stuff, you really have to believe that everything's meant to be type thing.
Sure.
Well, man, we appreciate you coming on as always.
I got one more
Go ahead,
thing. What is the Florida Grid League, man? You gotta come on. What is this? You got to tell me about it.
I'm expanding my horizons, man.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Essentially, it's a offshoot of CrossFit, but it's a team-based competition where not everyone has to do all the events.
Okay.
So I'm going to be their barbell specialist, which is like deadlifts, clean and press, things like that. And they reached out, and I talked with them, and I'm going to give it a go.
Nice.
Wow.
I can't even. All right. So even if I wanted to train for World's Strongest Man again, I can't anymore. Like, I have to put Clash up first. Priority. So I can't train. So unfortunately, the comeback I wanted definitely isn't happening.
So are you not doing OSG this year now that Camby's hurt?
I mean, it's not about that. It's about I don't have the bandwidth to train for it and run Clash shows. Like, I hit out to Dallas in a week and a half, and then I got LA 2 weeks after that, and then I have Missouri. I have Norway, then Missouri, and then Denver, and then Lakeland, and then Waco. Like, it's
No, I get it. I get it.
I did it to myself. To be fair, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that I can't train to the world level and do that, but I can clean and press CrossFit weight.
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. If Nick Camby was competing, would he have won? What do you think?
Fuck. I think he would have been tough to beat. I think that he would have been on podium. Isaac came in looking as sharp as I've seen anybody be, though. He really was on his game.
He was well-rounded.
Camby and Isaac, they actually have fairly similar strengths. They're very good at dumbbell. They're pretty damn good at deadlift. They're fast. They're agile. Like,
that
would have been tough. We might have had to bust out a tiebreaker for that one, to be honest.
That would have been, man. Just like, you think about how competitive the show was
without Camby,
right? And then you put him in there. It's like, man, what could have been?
Like, in Worlds, when the world champion's out at Worlds, it's like the end of the world. This one, that nobody missed a fucking beat. And it was more entertaining than last year.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, so you guys just heard Anthony Fuhrman talk about the whole weekend. I thought it would be cool to have one of our record breaker athletes on. So CJ Krause pulled the American deadlift record, 715 pounds. What's up, CJ?
How's it going, Josh? I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Happy it's over also to an extent. But I can't wait to talk about the show. It was great.
Yeah, so we talked to Anthony. He kind of described all his like production, everything, from his side of things, running the whole weekend. I want to talk to someone who lived it. You didn't do the full show, obviously. You did the record breakers on Friday night. Just talk about it a little bit. Like, well, what did it feel like? We obviously saw a lot of people go for records and unfortunately not hit it. You were one of the few that actually hit the American record. 715 and just talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, no, like I said, it was a great show. Like, the production quality, like, I've never been treated more like an athlete than this weekend. I do have to give that to Fuhrman 100% across the board. Like, from when I arrived, from the pre-prep, from the talking the whole time, knowing our schedule to the T, again, paying us as well on top of everything. Like, that's like things he didn't have to do with some of that. I'm sure he talked about some of the production problems that happened back behind the scenes a little bit on his end. And then he decided to put the extra cash back to the athletes instead of pocketing it, which is like, commendable as he can. So that's something awesome. But yeah, like I said, great weekend. A little bit weird for me because like I'm used to being an athlete doing full shows. I'm not like I've done like 2 one-offs, and that's been Clash on the Cumberland and now Clash on the Coast, where I just do one lift, and that's a whole different ball game mentally for me because I like full shows more than one-off lifts because you're like facing other people. Like I think it's more terrifying just to be like you got one shot, one weight,
Sure.
and you got to go in. You know, like, oh, I had a bad event. You only got one. But the whole weekend was great. Like I said, the weigh-ins were super smooth, super nice. IVs on hand, ready to go right when you were done. What more can you ask for from that situation? My cut went perfect thanks to my team. And then we just kind of hung out, went through all the production side of it. We had athlete interviews a couple hours later, which is super cool. I got to, show my personality a bit, rock my romper, and do all that. Which is also again, it's fun to see the people behind the scenes of like the lifts. We don't really like we get to see that being the athletes, but it's fun to see like fans and things like that to see who we are as people. I was finished the day 0, pretty much I call it because it was before the show even started. And then I was able again because I didn't lift till the evening. I was able to watch day 1 most of the men's. I try not to stay out in the sun too long, but it was fun to watch the 105Ks. Very fast show. Like that's one thing I noticed. Like they were like flying them through, but again, they're trying to keep it short and do a proof of concept that they could run a show that quickly. I think that's the way the future is going to be for this sport. Is we better all be ready to do quick turnarounds. Like these days of local shows going from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. because we got to have all this rest time. I don't think that's going to be a thing. And then the record breakers, there were some hiccups. I'm going to say that. But that's to be expected with live TV. That's one thing. Like I'm not upset about some of the hiccups. Like we were supposed to have basically a whole stage set up for us. I'm sure Anthony talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, he talked about it was going to be like on the beach, and then you guys had to move to basically just the parking lot and make it look like a little arena.
Yeah, to make it look as best they can. So they did a great job for TV. It looked really good when I watched it back.
Oh, I thought it looked good.
Yeah, and I think some of it might be like the downside of that is it's a parking lot and there's like no actual flat surface, no matter how the best you try with putting mats down. So I think that affected like some of the records a lot of people went for. Now on that end of it, like I loved how they like we knew ahead of time what time we were going. Like they had the American Deadlift Championships as the openers kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I was skipping that because I already like claimed the title because I was the only one invited out in the weight class, and I had such a gap of disparity. And unfortunately, the other person that would have been competing against me for the title got injured. So they bumped me to the record attempts later on. Again, and then we just saw everyone do their attempts. It was super well done. I mean, like I said, the biggest hiccup was probably on the circus dumbbell, which I had no clue about because I was warming up at the time, but like watching it back and things like that. But yeah, I mean, the problem with that is that trickle effect affected every event after that. Because something a lot of people won't know about is every minute was on a piece of paper to the exact second. We had specific rest times of like a max of 7 minutes, which again we were planning.
Right, and that's ESPN dictating that, right?
Correct. ESPN was dictating based on like what Anthony available athletes, what equipment, how we rotated through. So there's supposed to be specific rest times that we knew ahead of time. They're like, you have 5 to 7 minutes in between attempts based on this time. Like my first attempt was supposed to be 8:24 on the dot. But that was like, I knew the exact time my first attempt was supposed to be, so I could start my warm-ups on the proper time. But when that hiccup happened, it caused like a recoil effect to the rest of the time slot. So a lot of people, the cool, like I bring it up, I hit the American record. I'm very proud of it. Right. I didn't hit the goal of the world record, which was in the ballpark. Was it going to happen? It would have been tough, but it definitely should have been closer than what happened. So that's why, like in my interview, I probably looked a little disappointed, but I was excited at the same time. Yeah. But having the not flat surface of a parking lot, they did the best they could putting mats down, but the mats were a little soft. The bar was a Cerberus bar, which I wasn't used to. These are variables I should have expected ahead of time. Originally, we were like able to choose our bars, but then Cerberus, again, great sponsor. Thank you so much for donating to help the athletes out. It's just a bar I wasn't used to. And these are all little things that like, and the way the plates were loaded, I'm used to like all red plates across the board. but there was those green plates in the middle, so it made it heavier, more dense internally. And on a brand new bar, it's you don't get any slack out of it.
Right.
So it affected my lift a little bit. And the biggest variable was that time constraint, because if you watch it back, I had about 3 minutes between attempts because we were about 10 minutes behind. So from my initial American record into my world record attempt, I didn't get to unstrap my suit and breathe.
Right.
But again,
How long was it from your 715 deadlift to your next attempt? You attempted 740, right?
Yeah, it was 7:45. So the second I finished my lift, the second I caught my breath, you have to get off the stage. And these are some variables that like a lot of people, I'm not sure, understood. Like you had producers talking to you, which again, super grateful. Not trying to like complain by any means, but they're just like, okay, what's your next lift? Here's what you said you're gonna go for. Do you want to keep it there? And I can't think. I just really hit 715. It was tougher than I thought it was gonna be based on X, Y, and Z variables. Because I couldn't dig my feet in, the bar I'm not used to, and how tight the plates were. So it made it a little bit more of a grind than in training, which, some days are like that.
Sure.
We've all been there. And I'm just like, I got to tell them my attempt, try to get my suit off a little bit to breathe. And they're like, hey, you're going in like a minute. The bar's loaded. Right. So about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 to 4 minutes max. And we were told we're given 7. And like, they're already behind on schedule. And there's 2 other deadlifters after me, and there's Hannah Lindsay to close the show. So
yeah,
I knew I had to just go for it. I'm going to see what happened. And I couldn't, like, I literally had no oxygen in my brain. I couldn't get my feet set. I couldn't get my head on straight. End of the day, all these variables aside, I'm not trying to make excuses. I need to get stronger. Because I chose my opener based on a weight I knew I was going to hit with the worst scenarios. And I think it's how people need to choose an opener. The heaviest weight you can hit under terrible scenarios. That's why people are like, oh, why didn't you just go for the world records? I already had the American record coming into the show. I didn't have anything to like really prove at that point, but I just know I wanted to hit a big number regardless.
Sure. And you also did expand the American record by
55 pounds.
55 pounds. So I mean, that's to people that don't, lift competitively, adding 55 pounds to a record is, that is a significant gain.
No, it's a very big jump. It's a number I'm very proud of. But again, for those out there that are doing competitive lifting, your opener, like I think that's where a lot of the record breakers made mistakes, and I love them. But like I think they're like, I'm gonna hit this record off the bat, trying to save energy. I think I was just like, I'm hitting a number I know I can hit. Like if everything goes wrong, like
sure.
If my foot slips a little bit, or if like I get nervous, or like something happens, or my strap has a little bit of like the wrong spot, I'm gonna hit 715 because I know I have that.
Right. Yeah. I was just curious how it was with ESPN. So I mean, it's just obviously it's such different circumstances for anything that we're used to doing. Doing a show at a gym or at a convention center, something like that. This is just seems like it's just everything else is thrown out the window, and it's just such a new thing for all of us.
It's very new, and I think doing it and having the opportunity to, and succeeding to an extent, but not succeeding to the level I wanted to, because I've hit that number so much easier in training. But again, I chose my bar, I chose my rest times. I had the exact things I needed. Like these are things like we can only bring a couple things over to the behind the scenes area. So I could like grab my Skittles and like whatever I needed in the quick moment. And like you're on their time.
Yep.
You can't be like, I need 2 more minutes. You're like, no. This is live TV.
Right.
There can't be dead air. There can't be nothing going on the screen.
Yeah, I think like in the next couple of years, like as this continues and like I think Anthony's kind of like proven you can have live strongman now. I think they'll start to fine tune it because he's going to listen to the athletes and go from there. So
it's going to be fine tuned. It's going to be ran better. I'm not saying it was ran poorly. I'm not saying that it wasn't perfect by any means, but like you can always like find something better out of the situation. And at the end of the day, like I'm going to train different when I go for an attempt next year. Anthony already said he wants the next record break. He wants me to come back and expand either the record or go for the world record. So my goal is with that is I should have asked more questions on the way there. How are you loading my bar? what bar are we specifically using? Because for those that lift competitive, those little variables take away small percentages or add small percentages to what you're doing, how comfortable you are with that. I missed the world record by 4%. Like that realistically, like it sounds like that's not a big jump percentage wise, but 4% was like, what bar did I use? How is it loaded?
Yeah.
How was I feeling? Little things like that. So I think it's going to make me a better athlete, asking the right questions when I go for these attempts. Because
Sure.
not that I wasn't there. I don't think I mean, would I've hit it? I don't know. It would have been a lot closer than what happened, because percentage wise I should have hit it. But it's one of those things, like for like world records, you can't really practice it. You just gotta have, like,
yeah, and you're not going to be able to predict those variables all the time. Honestly, stuff's always going to happen day of the show.
But I could have prepared a little bit better.
Sure.
And these are questions I should have asked. And as like athletes that we go into this expanded role in these like live events and live TV, I think we need to know the questions to ask. So if someone's listening to this and they're like, "Hey, I've got a record breaker show coming up for Clash," ask them, like, if it's a log, what's the exact log I'm going to use? How are you loading this log specifically? It sounds redundant. It sounds silly. Like wait, whatever. But like where it shifts, understand and work with that implement specifically, because these are world records for a reason, or even American records for a reason. And every small variable can add to it or subtract from it at that high of a level.
Oh, 100%. So Clash is over now. What's your plan as an athlete? Like what shows, and are you going to just wait until next year's record breaker to try this deadlift again? What's your plan as athlete the next year?
I've got a lot of good stuff planned. I'm super excited. My next show is actually going to be, I'm using it as a primer show, but I'm doing it as a 90 kilo. So I don't have to do a weight cut. I'm doing the official Strongman Games Southwest Regionals in Houston, June 25th. So I'll be competing that as a 90 kilo. I'm already qualified as 80 kilos in OSG, but I want to have like something set up, because my biggest goal is to do very well at Clash of the U80s. Like that's my big focus, is that show coming up. So I can't wait for Anthony to release those events. So hopefully by the time this drops or next week, we can know what the events are. That's August 20th. I can't go 16 weeks without like having a focus.
Sure.
Personally, but I'm not going to do a cut in between those two events, because I think that's going to drain my body too much. Because I'm one of the walking around heavier 80s, realistically. And the cuts, like, I have to diet so rigorously the weeks before a cut to make my cuts go smooth. I'm excited to get a little fat and be like walking around that and walk in and step on a scale under 198 versus like having to water cut. But yeah, I'm excited for that. That's my next two. Hopefully I get invited back as well after to the Arnold UK. That's something I'm really excited for. I did well there as a 90 last year, and then OSG. Those are my next 4 shows coming up. I don't think I'll be doing much in between those 4. Probably 2 as a 90, 2 as an 80. So I'm only doing 2 cuts the rest of the year, because I kind of did like 2 pretty tough cuts, and it's already April. I'm ready for a little bit of a fat break. But I don't think I'm going to be attempting the record anytime soon. There's no like reason to at this point, in my opinion. And I think it'll just like hinder my new goals. My goal is championships or podiums, like that level. I think that's always my goal in strongman. This situation kind of came up because I'm not like, I wasn't known for deadlifting before this.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty well balanced athlete. I didn't even know I was like this high of a level. Like it's weird to say that, but like I never deadlifted that heavy until we started like, hey, let's see what we got for this. Me and my coach decided for this record breaker, and then like we actually started pushing the number, because like they don't ask us to go that heavy too often.
Right.
So I'm always training volume. I'm literally doing a ton of volume. So it was fun, but I don't see myself attempting that world record until next time the record breakers come around. And I don't see myself doing too many over 700 lifts, because I'd rather just work my volume, because that's going to be more important for the shows coming up.
Right. Well, man, I appreciate the insight on Clash and everything. Is there anything else like you want to promote? Anything, brands, anything you want to shout out while you're on here?
Oh yeah, I totally like to give a couple shout outs here. First of all, I want to say thank you to Clash, Anthony Fuhrman, TJ, the whole crew, Tyler, that like ran that show. Because like that, again, the most professional show I've ever done, the most I've ever treated like an athlete, and that set the bar. it's between like that show and the Arnold UK with the two times I'm like, wow, I feel valued as an athlete. So I cannot say more good things about what they did or what they're doing for the sport on that. I do want to shout out Kratos Strength Equipment. We have a whole line of Giant Slayer crop tops, shirts, hoodies. We're getting bucket hats in. So and use code Giant Slayer for 20% off. So you saw my weigh-ins. I wore my teal, blue, and pink crop top, rocking it on that one. So hopefully you guys pick those up as well. So I'm going to shout them out. Those are my big ones. They're the one doing a lot of support for me. I could name so many people, the list of people
Sure.
that helped me on everything, like Beck Lorch, my cut, Greg Schlitz on my cut, helping me out there, and Gabe Pena, my coach. So I'll just stop there. There's such a good team around me.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations on the American record. Appreciate all the insight too. And we'll have to have you on for a full long episode too coming up. But man, I appreciate the insight so much.
Yeah, man, it's a great thing. We've been trying to plan this for a while. It's got to be finally get something on this. And I know you were trying to break the American record. I've set that bar pretty high for you, but I think you can. I want you to catch up, and I hope you do break it, so we can keep pushing the limits.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter. Like, I just think it helps having good deadlifters where we can just keep pushing each other, because now it's like I've seen, oh, dude, a guy in my class can pull 715. Like, holy shit! Like, I got to keep working. You know,
you need to see it's possible. That's the biggest thing.
Yep.
When you see someone else, I had no clue these numbers were possible. Like, even a year and a half ago, like, this would have been basically a world record. It's been set twice since in the last 2 years. So It's insane. I love setting the bar higher, and I love this 80 kilogram class. So shout out to all of them who keep pushing the bar in every lift.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope I get to meet you soon in person too at a show.
Yeah, brother, let's do it.
I got to make it to one of the big shows first, Clash or OSG. So
you will, man. You will. You got some good in you. So,
well, man, thank you so much, and everyone be sure to follow CJ. What's your Instagram?
It's the Giant Slayer Krause with underscores in between. The Giant Slayer Krause. Yep.
Okay, make sure you guys follow CJ on Instagram as well. And we will see you guys for episode 73. Thank you for tuning in.